Hey everyone, welcome back to 2 for 1 Joe Live. It is 9:32 a.m. on June 20th, 2022. I am here with my good friend Luke Irvin. Luke, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. How are you this morning?
Doing pretty good. I'm a little sleepy. I went to bed pretty late, but that is that's the life sometimes. Yeah,
Yep.
so I'm excited to get started.
Yeah,
We had some interesting box office things happen over the weekend. You've already seen Jurassic World, right? Correct.
I did. Yeah, I've seen Dominion. Yes,
Did you watch Lightyear as well?
not yet.
Uh huh.
Definitely wanted to over the weekend, being Father's Day
Yeah.
weekend, but we just kind of enjoyed the house and just kind of had some family over and just spent
Yeah.
the day
Are you
here.
fully moved in now? Are you kind of settled in?
We're fully moved in, still settling in. So eventually, this whole
Sure.
backdrop will be hopefully cooler.
Yeah. Oh no, I
um,
mean I like it. I like it already.
yeah, I went. Kind of Father's Day gift to myself. Bought a new TV for like our downstairs living area. So got a
Heck yeah.
Sony 4K Bravio.
Heck yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's the best kind
but
of gift.
yeah, man.
Period. Yeah. No, I love it. No, see, I haven't seen Lightyear yet, but I did go watch Jurassic World Dominion. I was a week behind or so, or a few days behind, and it come in. It still remained number one this weekend, which is pretty impressive. Overall, it's made 622 million, but this last weekend it made 58.7 million, barely edging out Lightyear, which is also interesting because Lightyear is expected to make 70 million over the weekend. It made only 51 million,
Mm,
and it's only made 85 million worldwide so far, which I'm kind of surprised because I mean, this is like it's not Toy Story, but it's
yeah,
Buzz Lightyear, and I
sure.
feel like the trailers have been next level. Like at least that first trailer with like David Bowie's
Hmm.
Starman song,
Yep.
like how like I really was excited for this movie, but I guess the reviews kind of come out and it hasn't been like as big of a banger as some people think it's been or was expected to be. So I wonder if reviews kind of hurt it a little bit or I don't know. It's pretty interesting. So
Yeah. I really don't know. I mean, from like my circle of film friends, like all the first
yeah,
reactions have been positive.
yeah,
I'm kind of like with you. Like the first trailer had me intrigued. The second one kind of dipped my excitement a
yeah.
little bit for it, but I still
Me
want to
too a
see
little
it.
bit. Now what's really super impressive is that Top Gun had a 15% drop from the previous weekend, which is this is like unheard of. This is like hasn't happened in a long time, and it made 44 million over the weekend. Last weekend it made I think 51 million, and it's made 885 million total so far. And it will. There's no denying now. By
Yeah.
the end of next week or the week after, it will be the highest grossing movie of 2022.
Wow.
Um, and the only thing that will potentially top it might be Thor: Love and Thunder, might
Hmm.
be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. There's
Hmm.
there's no way Black Adam will hit these. I don't think hit these numbers. I just would be shocked if it broke 700 million. But anyway, it's super impressive. It's the biggest movie of Tom Cruise's career, and he'll be 60 this year, 61 this year. So pretty impressive, guys. I mean, it deserves it. I saw it
Yeah.
twice. It's still my number one movie of the year so far. So
Nice.
I'm glad it's getting all the love. So that's pretty
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Luke, what's our first topic here?
Yeah, we're about to jump into Star Wars. I am picking up a little static on my
I'll
end.
switch over.
If you want to switch over. Before we jump into some Star Wars, I wouldn't mind seeing Maverick again in theaters. My wife
Yeah.
and I had our anniversary and went to the movies, but we ended up going to see Multiverse of Madness. So that was my third time to see that on
Oh,
the big
Multiverse of
screen.
Madness. Yeah. I
Yeah,
it comes out relatively soon. I already ordered my I pre-ordered my Best Buy Steelbook for it,
yeah,
and I'll watch it again. I'm just not
yeah,
like I don't know.
yeah. I've definitely watching it multiple times. I've grown to enjoy it a lot more than my first reaction. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
I think I did
uh,
like my second viewing a little more probably
yeah,
because my expectations were a little tailored. And I mean,
right,
and
right,
seeing like Dead Strange is pretty cool. I mean, he's pretty
yeah,
sick. He's awesome.
mhm,
Yeah.
definitely. So we're gonna get into Star Wars news. So this is Taika on his upcoming Star Wars movie. I think for the Star Wars universe to expand, it has to expand. He explains. I don't think I'm any use in the Star Wars universe making a film where everyone's like, "Oh, great! Well, that's the blueprints to the Millennium Falcon. Ah, that's Chewbacca's grandmother." Um, Which I know I did see the headline related to this that he is wanting to bring in new characters to start expanding just the Star Wars universe as a whole, which I'm really excited about. Um,
Yeah,
I
no,
do
I
think it would get stale over time if we're just going to continuously see the same like handful of characters that we have in pretty much every film. I love these characters. I've grown up with these characters. I'd love to see them go on more adventures, but as a Star Wars fan, I do need to see more.
You're right. It's something we've been talking about for so long on even here and on the podcast. It's like Star Wars feels like this big galaxy, right? Multiple planets, all these different species. But every time they make like an Andor or an Obi-Wan Kenobi or
Yeah,
Mandalorian, they're filling in every crevice and crack within the universe, and it's making the universe almost feel smaller in some respects.
sure.
And also, our review of the full season of Obi-Wan Kenobi will be coming out this week for the podcast, and there's some mixed feelings in there for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you do tackle these legacy characters that are so beloved, there's also the risk of like not doing them justice. So if you come in fresh with new characters, a new cast, a new storyline, new expectations, like that's the thing. Like people don't, they don't. The bar's not so high, and so you can kind of exceed that sometimes when you do that. So I'm excited for it. Bring it on. Taika's pretty great,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm ready for it.
Even beyond the movies, like getting series that kind of expand it, I'm down for as well. I've really enjoyed the series on Disney Plus. I think there's a lot you can do within that, even with just the Mandalorian. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I would definitely love to see spend more time in other worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's something we haven't really done a lot. Like I love, it's like I hate those teases when you get these little, space and we're going past all these other worlds or we kind of get glimpses, but I want to know what's going on there.
Yeah,
Like who are
yeah.
the people there? Who are the leaders there? Like what's the conflicts going on there? Um,
No, I agree. I agree.
yeah.
I'm ready for it. Just give it to
So,
me yesterday. That's all I ask. That's all I
right.
care about. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so for the listeners, let us know if you're, especially if you're big into Star Wars, let us know in the comments. What would you like to see more of? What are you looking forward to? Are you excited to see what Taika does with his upcoming, hopefully trilogy? I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy and not just a one-off movie. Let us know.
Awesome.
All right, what's next on the docket?
So we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 on the villain
Yeah.
spot. The directors say pretty early on we knew that Spot was going to be our main villain, but that an awesome villain who you sort of kind of can understand with their through line. You don't really have a strong story for your main character, so he's an awesome sort of opposite to Miles Morales. And they kind of go and talk about his art style. They say, and his living ink really is just, I think we've all been saying, it's not just an effect, he continued. It's artistry come to life. It's something that can only happen in animation. And when they say stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, talk dirty to me. Because I mean, again, that first movie, when it come out, I was like, this will win the Academy Award for best animated movie this
Hmm.
year. If it doesn't, I'm going to lose my mind. And thankfully it did because my mind's still intact. And I love that movie. I think I saw it 5 times in theaters. I could be wrong.
Wow.
And it's amazing. It's incredible. And anything they can do to keep it interesting visually and narratively, I'm all
Yeah.
for it. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
They got to push the medium a little bit. And I mean, I saw some trailer for some movie on Netflix come out, or it's coming out this year, but last week, and it has like the same like stop motion kind of frame rate aesthetic that the first Spider Verse had. And I was like, man,
Hmm.
they're just straight up ripping off Spider Verse
Yeah.
now. And it's like it kind of changed the way like people could do animation going
Sure.
forward. So I'm excited
Do you
for
remember
it.
what? Do you remember what that was? What you
I don't
saw?
remember the title for it, but it was like this. I don't remember. It's coming to Netflix. It's part of their Netflix Geeked Week that they did
Okay.
last week, and they announced it or showed it. But it has it looks just like Spider Verse,
Yeah.
just not as good. I mean, it's what it
Interesting.
looks like.
Well, there's also like Mitchell's versus the Machines. I don't know if you've seen
Mm,
that one.
that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's a good one.
And I really enjoyed that movie. It does kind of pull from what Spider Verse did,
Yeah,
but I feel like they kind of had a good story and kind of could do their own thing with it, and it
yeah.
paid off.
No, yeah. I mean, I want to say that I think the some similar people worked on that. I think Chris and Lord Miller worked on Mitchell's the Machine, so it obviously has some
Gotcha.
carryover from there. So,
Yeah.
but I'm excited for it. The Spot, I really recognize him from. I believe he was in the animated series, but I mean, I have comic books with the Spot as the villain,
Mm.
so it's a very interesting choice, and I think I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
I was thinking the other day, like, oh, Oscar Isaac is. I forgot he's also,
Yeah.
2009
Yep.
Spider-Man. That man is just racking up the credits, and he's just such an
Oh yeah.
incredible actor. So
I
I'm
know.
super excited for that. So
Very
everyone,
excited. Same.
yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think about the Spot. Did you see the Spot in the comics or the animated series from the '90s? Let us know in the comments below. And are you excited for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part One? Luke, what's our next story?
Oh, we're gonna go into Miss Marvel. So Miss Marvel has 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, but scores lowest 5-day viewership on any MCU Disney Plus series so far. Um,
Yeah,
just crazy. Like I did see the headline about Miss Marvel kind of being the lowest in terms of the Disney Plus, but man, after the second episode, I'm like, I'm ready for more. I'm
yeah.
enjoying it.
I mean, what's interesting is we just talked about Spider-Verse. I feel like they're kind of taking some of these aesthetic choices from Spider-Verse and kind of
Yeah.
overlaying them into the world live action aspect of Miss Marvel. I'm with
Hmm.
you. I like this show a lot. I like the
Hmm.
culture, the world. I like this ground level, kid like, Gen Z perspective. And I'm in for it, man. Like I think it's been
Yeah.
really good. It's shot super well. It looks like a movie. And I would say so far it's a better show than Obi-Wan Kenobi. I would say so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to depend on episode 3, and definitely go listen to our thoughts on Agents of Mace because we released last week's episode was for episode 1 and 2. We were a little bit behind, um, but I will agree with Drew's thoughts on this. Is like we want the story to move along quickly. Like
Yeah.
we don't want really like the next episode to just be heavy in backstory. Um, because I think that I feel like that potentially could damage it. I'm very intrigued with where they're going. There's a lot of questions we need answers. I'm just hoping, being that it's only 6 episodes, we start getting some answers a little bit faster, and they can push the story forward.
The thing that worries me about it, the only thing, this last thing I'll say on it is I don't really know who the villain is 100% yet. Like I feel like it's not there's no real antagonist yet other than
Yeah,
her own life being like being
sure.
a kid or a high
Yeah,
school kid or a family. So I
right.
think do we need a stronger we don't have to. They could go a different route with this and not have
And
that,
that,
but it's kind of weird
that's
not to
what
have
we're
it.
wondering as well. We've gotten there's like 3 or 4 clues that it's going to be. I believe it's the inventor. Um,
Okay.
but it's just not. It's not really for certain if we actually are ever going to see a villain. It feels like
Gotcha.
this is more of like family keeping this powers hidden from family. I don't know. Let us know because I'm very intrigued with the show and where it's going. So let us know. Do you like Miss Marvel? Where is this currently ranked for the Disney Plus MCU series for you? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, of
What we
course.
got next?
Chris Evans would love to return as Johnny Storm. He says, I guess all bets are off. Look, I would love it. I would love it. That would actually be an easier sell to me than coming back as Cap. Cap is so precious to me, and I almost don't want to disrupt what a beautiful experience that was. But Johnny Storm, I feel like he didn't really get his day. That was before Marvel really found its footing, so I love that role, and who knows? He did go on to say in a separate part that he was also he hasn't been contacted yet to do this, but it's like
Mm,
it's one of those things. It's like, man, you have Chris Evans saying this out loud. Surely it's been talked about behind the scenes in some form. I
yeah,
don't know. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe we're just like sitting here like with Doctor Strange, and we're just making these bombastic predictions, and like
right.
we're making better ideas than they are. I don't know. I just assume since it's Marvel Studios and they gave us Infinity War and Endgame and Civil War and
Yeah,
all these great things that they're also having these ideas, but maybe they're not. Maybe we're not really getting all these secret wars kind of stuff that we keep thinking of. And I don't know. I want it. Give it to me again now.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, this goes into like missed opportunities.
Yes.
Multiverse of Madness, they could have pulled in so many past characters as well and made it very intriguing. It's hard to read into this as like, I feel like, behind the scenes, they've had these discussions. There's got to be notes on upon notes
There
of
has to
bringing
be.
in these past characters. It's just, I think, with all the different stories that we're gonna get on the upcoming movies and series, they got to play their cards right. I think.
I think you're right, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited. We got a lot more Marvel this year, and D23 is
Yeah,
coming out sometime soon. I saw. I think you shared it on Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
And what do you remember the date on that D23 this year?
I don't off the top of my head. I feel like it's kind of as fall is kicking off, so August,
Yeah, I feel
September
like
around there.
I feel like it might
Yeah.
be like September-ish. Well, yeah, this is for you listeners. Let us know. Do you want Chris Evans back as Johnny Storm? I already know that you do, but let us know in the comments below if you want him back, or if you'd rather have Cap, or you want both, like I do. Let us know in the comments below. And Luke, what's our next story?
All right, so we've got Wonder Man Disney Plus series potentially being developed as a Hollywood satire. I did see this
Hmm.
pop up, which is really cool. So in the comics, Simon Williams was originally introduced as an enemy of Tony Stark's before going on to join the Avengers as a hero, while also launching a successful acting career. This could be from the Shang-Chi director and Brooklyn Nine-Nine writer. That's awesome. I didn't dive too much into this. I saw the
Hmm.
headlines of, and I'm pretty sure Drew probably shared this with us. But Wonder Man coming to Disney Plus, character I'm not super familiar with, but just reading this, I'm very intrigued by it
Yeah, I
and
mean,
would be excited to check it out.
I'm kind of there with you too. Like, I mean, we're kind of, I mean, we have been for a year or two now, but we're getting into characters that even have a hard time knowing about or have comics of or anything like that. So I too have to do these Wikipedia deep dives sometimes.
Yeah.
The thing I'm looking forward to is the Wonder Woman slash Wonder Man meme comparisons because just the name.
Mm,
There's got to be some memes out there that's going to come out because like they share a similar name and like oh you're Wonder Man sort of thing. So it's got to be happening. It's have to.
yeah.
But the big thing here for me is seeing the Shang-Chi director and the Brooklyn
Hmm.
Nine-Nine writer because that seems like a great pairing. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a fantastic show, and I really love Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was a good director for the role, and he really,
Yeah.
especially for the action sequences, or at least he understood that these needed to be executed in a certain way, and he
Hmm.
brought that to it. So I'm excited for it. I'm very
Yeah.
excited for that.
Oh yeah. Just the idea of like this Hollywood satire style film.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I enjoy those from time to time, so would love to check it out. And some of this stuff is like, you know, curious to see like how much like they'll pull from like the boys with that being such a success and
Mm,
kind of
yeah.
like kind of like what they're trying to do. If any of that will get pulled into some Disney Marvel related things, I don't
Yeah.
know. Definitely let us know in the comments. Are you a fan of Wonder Man? Let us know what some of your favorite comics or any characters within Wonder Man are. Let us know in the comments below. What do we got next?
Yeah. So Love and Thunder is this Chris Hemsworth's last MCU movie? He
Ooh.
said, I played that character for 10, 11 years now, and each time it's been new and exciting, and this was no exception to that. It felt very fresh, and it felt like we were trying something we hadn't tried before. I was, in Taika's words, I think a wacky, wild, romantic comedy set in space. There's no way this is his last MCU movie. Unless he dies at the end of this movie and
Yeah.
Jane Foster replaces him or someone else
Hmm.
replaces him, Beta Ray Bill or something, which I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And I mean, you got, again, we said earlier, I was like, maybe we're making these bombastic predictions with like all these characters
Sure.
coming back with like Secret Wars, but I do think Secret Wars is going to happen, and I think we
Hmm.
are going to see Thor one more time. And I just have a feeling they're going to get Taika to do one final movie with him,
Yeah.
and I could see a big team up movie happening next with Thor in it, one final team up movie, and I can see one final movie happening with Thor because again, I don't know how this movie ends. We'll know
Hmm.
in like 3 weeks,
Yep.
which is really fast around the corner, or 2 weeks.
Yep.
But I do think he will want to go out like Chris Evans and Robert Downey did in terms of like
Yeah.
a cool send off, whether it means he
Sure.
dies, he finds peace, he accepts his responsibility in the universe, whatever that is, I feel like he'll want that kind of ending. So I don't think he's done yet. What do you think?
I would agree. Yeah, he's gonna want to go out with a huge bang. Like what that will be, I don't know. And it's like what some questions is like what's gonna happen with him and Jane. What role will Jane kind of have or take over? I'm
Yeah.
also very curious to see could this film introduce Hercules? Um,
Yes, I think
could
it's going
Hercules
to.
could
Yeah, I hope
Hercules
so.
be a character that becomes like a bigger part in future films?
Yeah, it
Um,
could very well be. Yeah.
all
The
I know
big
is I'm
thing,
super excited.
I don't know. I mean, part of me says that they got Natalie Portman back and they're not going to kill her off because that'd be a
Yeah.
great like thing to see them fight together in a
Mhm.
big team up movie. But I also just have this feeling that she could die at the end of it. I
Yeah.
guarantee you right now she's going to have cancer. I 100% guarantee it.
Mm.
And that's her role in the comics. She has cancer. Mjolnir comes to her, and it gives her the power of Thor. And then so when she's not Thor, she's Jane Foster with cancer, dying. And
Right.
I just have a feeling that it could be that. Um, I don't know. I mean, it
Mm.
would almost be weird to bring her in than to kill her off, but I do think. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll know pretty soon. I very much look forward to us breaking that down
Yeah.
and seeing, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. The big thing is, um, I'm not sure we talked about this, but I guess Gore has scored the highest out of all the MCU villains in the test screenings, which I
Really?
wonder I wonder how much, part of it is like, oh, this is the newest test screening and like I don't know. I feel like it's almost a little manipulated that way, but maybe he is the best villain
Mhm.
they've ever had. I don't know, but I'm excited to see him. So I don't know. So listeners, let us know in the comments below if you think this is Chris Hemsworth's last MCU movie, and would you like to see him in a future Avengers team up, or would you think Jane Foster will continue on as the mighty Thor? Luke,
Mm.
what's our next topic? And I feel like
Oh.
we're yeah, just go on. Do it.
We're gonna
Do it.
switch over to some DC news now. Oh, Ezra Miller. This guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no winning in this for Warner Brothers. This is an inherited problem for Saslov. The hope is that the scandal remain at a low level before the movie is released and hope for the best to turn out. Um, so essentially the last thing I saw related to this was Ezra kind of went on a social, I don't even know the right word to use, but
Yeah.
said a lot of stuff and then ended up deleting his Instagram account.
He said they were in a different universe.
Yeah, there was something about being in a different universe.
Yep.
Very out there. So Saslov is considering three options: restrain the Flash's marketing campaign, release the movie on HBO Max and front the financial loss. Deadline puts the Flash's price tag at 200 million,
Ooh.
or release the film as planned but let Miller go afterwards should their situation not improve.
Yeah. Um, I think somewhere in this report too, there was a mention of that they had in some way tried to get Ezra help, but there was no
Mm-hmm.
clarification on that, and it was
Mm.
like that's more hearsay than anything. So I don't know the info on that. I don't know, man. I mean, there's info come out about how he was basically grooming this
Mm-hmm.
actress or this person on set of one of the Fantastic Beast movies. I think at one point she came out and said that this is not the case on her social
Mm.
media. Her parents filed some type of I'm going to butcher this, some type of restraining order or
Mm-hmm.
something, or subpoenaed him or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's on this downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
He needs help, of course. We've said this like almost every week now for like 2 months. The thing that, taking all that aside, let's look at the entertainment aspect of it. We've been talking about this for a while. I think the best option here, I keep wondering, maybe they should bite the bullet and
Mm-hmm.
reshoot this movie. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's almost
Excuse me.
impossible. I think it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
but I wonder if they should do it. I don't know. I feel like HBO Max is not a good place for it because it's so
Yeah,
expensive,
sure.
but maybe it's also maybe that's what they should do. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Just reading these 3 options, it's I know what we've talked about before is one way we'd love to see it approached is the ending just introduces a new Flash.
Yeah, 100%.
It seems like based on these options, like that's probably not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like, do they just have to cut their losses, recast the Flash, and it's basically we just have to accept that whatever goes, if they continue, if there's going to be continuation films in any way,
Yeah.
we're just having a new actor play the Flash.
Yeah. I mean, there's even reports of like Michael Keaton's Batman being an Aquaman 2,
Hmm.
and I want to say Black Adam or Shazam 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, of course, there's going to be he's going to be rumored to be in every DC EU movie going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this issue of like when Batgirl comes out and like
Mm-hmm.
how where does it's weird having Michael Keaton in there and you don't have the Flash come out first, but then you
Yeah,
have Ezra Miller. He has to be in like every scene of the Flash, and he's playing multiple characters.
sure.
It's a super visual effect heavy movie, and it's like I don't know. I don't know. It seems like I mean, David Zaslav. He walked in here and he inherited this huge problem that just keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's a task I'm glad I don't have. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the big thing that Warner Brothers needs to do a month ago, yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
today, they need to come out and say, "Hey, we do not condone the actions of Ezra Miller. We are looking to resolve. We are looking to our options to resolve
Mm-hmm.
this matter, and and also pay honor or tribute to all the people who worked on the Flash and
Mm-hmm.
all the DC and Harry Potter movies involving Ezra Miller. We're
Yeah.
going to investigate.
Yeah.
Has he also had any other misconduct that we don't know about on these other movies?" Like that's what they need to say, just from a PR perspective, even if they don't mean
Sure.
it. That's what they need
Sure.
to say, and
I,
just to keep people like us from like speculating and
yeah.
making more headlines and stuff like that.
Right. Right. And I
You
feel
know?
like that's what bothers me the most is I've yet to see them say anything. Anything.
Oh yeah, I mean they were quick to cut out Johnny Depp from Secrets of Dumbledore, and it's
Right.
almost backfired him a little bit. I mean now Johnny Depp, whether you believe him or not, or you agree or not, he's almost in majority he's won public favor back, and
Yeah.
people it seems like people are team Johnny for the most part,
Sure.
and
And
now
I
they've yeah.
am I correct that they completely removed Amber Heard from Aquaman 2?
The most recent report is that they have not removed her from
Okay.
Aquaman
I
2.
thought I read the opposite, that she would be removed and that character would be recast.
Yeah, it has went back and forth, but the last thing I
Okay.
just saw this morning was that
Okay.
that's not true and that she's still in the movie as of right now. So,
Mm,
but again, that's hearsay until it comes out. We got well that comes out this fall, I guess. So we'll know
yeah.
December-ish, I guess. We'll know in
Yep.
December. It's wild.
Um, this is a wild one. Please let us know in the comments, like, where do you stand with DC's decisioning around Ezra Miller? Are you okay with the film coming out as is, or would you like to see this completely reshot? Because I'm kind of at the point now where I'm with you. Like, bite the bullet, recast, reshoot the film.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
the hardest thing is getting Michael Keaton back. That's the
yeah,
hard one. And
right.
he has to be
Yeah,
sitting there. I mean, the thing is, everyone is showing up for him in the movie. He is
right.
the one you take on the marketing campaign. He is the
Yeah,
one. But then
yeah,
how do you have any journalist in good conscience not ask a question about
yeah,
Ezra Miller, the Flash? How do you
yeah,
do it? I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm sure this is probably something for any of the other major actors in this film that are sitting behind the scenes. Like, I'm gonna have to say something. It's just,
Yeah.
when do I say it and what do I say?
Yeah, is it Sasha Cohen? I can't name her full name, but the girl who's playing Supergirl. I mean, that's the thing
Hmm.
too. Like, this is her big breakout
Yeah,
blockbuster movie, and it's being tainted by someone's actions who just can't
I
get their
know.
shit together. Just, it's
And
just,
and how does that affect them moving forward? Like, what other? I don't. There's a lot of this that I'm not educated enough to know, like the logistics behind it. But yeah, this is. This is a wild story, and
Well, clearly they at Warner Brothers Discovery also don't know what to do because they
yeah,
haven't done anything yet about it. So yeah. Next topic, Matt Reeves on Ben Affleck's canned Batman script. Matt Reeves says the movie was originally going to be directed by Ben Affleck, and the script they sent me had been written by Ben, but rewritten by another very talented writer. And when I read it, I was like, oh, I get it. It was a standalone Batman film that was centered on Ben's version of the character, but it was more action driven than what I felt I could do. I didn't connect to the movie in terms of me as a filmmaker. It was very James Bondian. It was filled with a
mm,
lot of set pieces. It could have been a very exciting movie for someone else to do it, but it wasn't for me to do. I again, even though I have issues with the Batman, you can check out my thoughts on the Batman podcast with me and Daniel. I really enjoyed it. I still have issues with it, especially the third act. I still wish in an alternate timeline, or I mean, I'm not even sure I wouldn't have preferred Ben Affleck's James Bondian version. That sounds
mhm,
badass to me. And I love
yeah,
Ben Affleck as Batman, and I wish he got the time of day, especially, especially Luke, if he was directing that movie.
yeah,
So it feels like a missed opportunity. Again, well, I didn't even think about this. Ben Affleck is in the Flash. He's also in the
right,
Flash movie.
yeah, he
So
is,
we're gonna get him too in it, and he's also been like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, my last Batman
yeah,
appearance. It's gonna be tainted by Ezra Miller bullshit. Anyway, I wish we got this movie. You never know. We could still get this HBO Max Batman Ben Affleck series, which would be fucking incredible.
yeah.
But what's your thoughts on this?
Very intrigued. I think the one thing I'm curious on is, I guess where within Affleck's Batman timeline is this, right?
Yeah,
Because the films that we do have with him, I mean, he is very just gritty, angry, just doesn't care. Like he's lost like a lot of that core sense of what Batman's like his foundation is. Like
yeah,
he's past that. Is this film, do we still have that, or is this kind of earlier on? Very curious on that. But you know, I love the Matt Reeves detective Batman. I love the detective style
yeah,
Batman,
yeah.
but seeing more heavier action driven Batman, that would have been really sick.
Oh man, and like
I
there was
want it. Give it
even
to me.
yeah, there was
Yeah.
the concept art that we shared, I think, a couple of months ago of Ben Affleck's proposed suit for his movie,
Hmm.
which looked cool. I think he looks cool even in the flash set photos with his bat
Hmm.
cycle thing. Um, you know, that's the thing. Like from what everything I understand was that it was going to take place after Zack's Justice League, and I got to tell you, like my favorite parts of Zack Snyder's version of that movie is Ben Affleck having that more hopeful attitude and
Sure.
like the moment whenever they're going up the hangar and the fox
Hmm.
is waiting for them, they're fixing to go to Steppenwolf in Germany. Victor says, she wanted to fly, and he said, and he's like, um, she was, you know, she's not broken or whatever, and he's like, or it's like her, what did he say? It's her, he was basically alluding to the fact that the fox wanted to fly, and
Hmm.
it's in its nature to fly, and he's like, it's
Yeah.
yours too, and like that like just that little line, it's like, man, like it's so good, and
Hmm.
then Alfred's like, he's like, faith, Alfred, faith, getting on the fox, and that shit is so good, and that's the shit
Yeah.
that I loved, and I
Definitely.
just I think it's a
Oh,
sequel, or it would have been a sequel, and I think it would have been great actually.
I think it would have been great. And please, I would hope that Jeremy Irons comes back to play Alfred. I needed a lot more.
I think he will. I mean, I can see a version where he doesn't because
Hmm.
in the Flashpoint storyline, you don't see Alfred really. You see like Batman typically at the in the cave by himself,
Hmm.
contemplating blah blah blah.
Hmm.
But I could see I could totally see Jeremy Irons back, and then they had a good fun dynamic, especially in
Yeah.
BVS. I
Oh yeah.
thought,
I
and
agree.
I liked it, and I again that's the thing, like we got a taste of some of these things that were good, and some of these things that weren't all that great with like Josh's version of Justice League, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like this weird alternate timeline thing that's like what could have been in different hands, or if Zach had got to do his
Hmm.
plan. We know his plan in detail now, like very very fine detail, but still, like, what could have been? And then, like, the big question, again, with all these things is what are they building towards now? So everyone,
Yep.
let us know in the comments below. Would you like to see Ben Affleck's Batman version? Are you glad we got Matt Reeves's Robert Pattinson detective version instead? Do you think he'll get an HBO Max series? Ben Affleck returning? I don't know, but let us know in the comments below. Luke, what's our next story? And it's kind of like the big one for me of the week.
Oh, okay. So coming up, we've got Game of Thrones sequel series with Jon Snow. Kit Harington reportedly confirmed to return in sequel series following Jon Snow Beyond the Wall.
Bam.
Whoa. Um, I'm a little torn on this one. I think in terms of all of the various Game of Thrones announcements and sequels and prequels that have been talked through, if any one of them, this is the one I'd probably watch.
Hmm.
But I'm one of those on the fence. Like the last few episodes of Game of Thrones, just that bad taste is still in my mouth, and I'm just kind of done with it.
Yep. I need to brush
Very
my teeth
unfortunate
right now
because,
thinking about it.
yeah. But even still, like just thinking of like this brand new like TV that I bought, I just want to go back and rewatch a lot of these battle scenes from Game of Thrones on this TV because
Dude,
they are
Battle of the
just,
Bastards is one of
oh
the
my
best.
goodness, it's
It's still one of the best episodes of TV ever.
yes,
That's what's so
yes, like
frustrating about all this.
agree.
The question
Um,
is, what do you do with Jon Snow? First of
right.
all, Jon Snow's my boy. Him and Tyrion are my two favorite characters. The thing
Yep.
I wanted, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, if you don't like spoilers, you shouldn't be watching anything on 241 Studios anyway. But whenever they brought Jon back from the dead, it was like, okay, this man's manifest destiny is to kill the Night King riding a
Mhm.
dragon. That's his
Yeah.
destiny. We didn't get that. We didn't get him riding a dragon, not in a cool way, and we didn't
Yeah.
get him killing the Night King, which is his destiny. Instead, we got him falling in love with Daenerys, which was fine because like that was also a big rumored plot device that was going to happen for
Mhm.
years throughout the books. Totally fine, but it ended up him killing her, which is also fine. But the big
Mhm.
thing is, you got to give the man who doesn't want to be king the throne. That's the guy who
Mhm.
deserves it. Instead, he gives it to Bran, who's the worst choice in my opinion for to be the king. And then you have
Yeah.
John walk off very melancholy. I can't say melancholic. I can't say the word.
Yeah. I know what you're
Very
saying.
sad. He walked away sadly beyond
Yeah.
the wall with the wildlings, and it's just like, oh, that's the ending, I guess. But where do they go with him through here now? Like, it's like his destiny to me. Like he was supposed to be like basically encompassing the Lord of Light, right? To fight the
Mhm.
darkness, like to fight the Night King and his zombies. So what
Mhm.
do they do with him and like how I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, because where does any of this really go? Like, does the Night
yeah,
King return?
they
You
kind of
know,
should do that. What if Daenerys becomes the Night Queen?
that could be interesting, but I just don't know.
I don't think she'd come back for it. Also, I don't think I dig it because it's like this feels like a band-aid kind of almost already.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, hey, we're doing this because so I'm honestly just surprised that Kit Harington's coming back because I mean this boy is fixing to be the Black Knight, like
I
we
know.
all suspect he's going to be in Blade. I don't know
Mhm.
if we'll get an Eternal sequel. That it's their first flop. I don't know if we'll do
Right.
that. But I do suspect everyone's going to be on board for Black Knight Dane Whitman. So I'm wondering how he's going to fit this into his schedule, and
Yeah.
also makes me think, well, maybe Marvel's not really utilizing him like we all think that they were. Um,
Right.
I don't know. And Blade's supposed to be shooting relatively soon, the next
Yeah.
couple weeks or
Yeah.
something,
About
or
to
or it is
start shoot.
shooting now. Yeah, it and
Yeah.
Ironheart are like right around the corner.
Yep.
So shooting wise, I don't know, man. I'm curious. Definitely
Uh,
curious.
same here. If it's got to be a good story. That's the only thing I struggle with. I'm down for him coming back to play this character again. Especially when they get a lot of the former cast to come back as well. It's just what is the story?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
got to be something that's gonna intrigue me enough to check this one out. So
The
if
good
you're a
thing
Game of
is,
Thrones fan, let us know.
Good thing is I would suspect that this show would be smaller than
Hmm.
Game of Thrones. It would just be, I mean, he would be the main central character, and like you have the wildlings, which they're not a whole. There's not like a, they're not. You don't have to pay all them, Kit Harington money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or Sansa money or Arya money. And so like you can have even like a shorter 6 episode run on HBO
Hmm.
Max or 8 episodes or whatever, and you can have a more intimate story. Or that's the thing though, I
Hmm.
don't want intimate. I kind of want like him leading battles and fighting people, and um I want the big stuff. So I just don't
Yeah.
know. I'm gonna watch it. They got me back with Jon Snow, which is exactly what they wanted.
Right.
um I'm gonna watch The House of the Dragon. I'm still not sure on that show yet either, because I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
prequels typically.
Right.
We'll see.
Same. Same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, let's just rapid fire these last ones. We don't have to like go super far
Sure.
on this. I'll just get your reactions from all of them real quick. Hercules live action adaptation from Guy Ritchie. Of course, Guy Ritchie also directed Aladdin, which was fine. It was okay,
No,
but
it's not
Hercules is one of my
okay.
favorite like Disney movies of all time, Disney cartoon movies of all time. And so I don't know. I mean, Guy Ritchie, he kind of felt like he just did like a paint by numbers adaptation of Aladdin in some ways, and wasn't
Yeah.
very Guy Ritchie-ish in his, whatever.
Right.
So I wonder, like, what does this mean? Also, I mean, it made $1 billion, Aladdin did. So, um, Hercules, I mean, I want to watch it. They just need to get Danny DeVito back
Sure. Yeah.
as him. Let's get him back. He was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. I saw Bruce Campbell was wanting to um,
be
audition as
Hades.
Hades. Yeah.
Hades. That's amazing. I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know if he would because he's kind of been tied to like extreme conservatism now. But
Mm,
James Wood, man, he killed it as Hades, and he
yeah.
could play he could still play Hades now. He's a lot older now, but he could still
Sure.
do
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like for me, almost more so than some of these other movies. Like I'm like, man, the voice actors for these characters are
Hmm.
intrinsically tied to this role to me, and
I
so I'm
know.
I'm gonna have a hard time with, especially with
Same.
Hades and with I can't think of what's his name? Is it Roy? I can't think of his name,
Oh, Danny
but
DeVito's character.
Danny DeVito's character, yeah,
I
in
can't remember off
Hercules.
the top of my head. Which I should know
Yeah,
because this is one of my favorite Disney films.
yeah, look it up for me, and I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and give you our next topic here. So Westworld season 4 returns on June 26th. We had a trailer recently for this, but my big question really was for you and Joel was like, are you guys still caught up on Westworld? Are you watching the show? Do you care about this upcoming season? Like, what's
Oh,
your thoughts on this?
I love Westworld.
Really?
I
So you
love
like
it.
season 3?
Yeah. Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
all in. Granted,
Okay.
like season 1 took me a few tries to get into it. Just kinda it just the way it starts and kinda moves, it took me a few tries, but once I finished it, I'm hooked, man. I love it. I just love just the sci-fi nature of it and just the technology and just I'm a fan. I'm looking forward
See,
to it.
I really love season 1 actually. I thought it was great. Season 2 was hard for me to start and get into. I think by the end of season 2, I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, and I
Yeah.
really liked season 2 a lot by the end of it. Season 3 obviously took a hard left turn, and like I
Yeah.
was game for it. I think I just wasn't kind of a fan of some of the decisions they made. Like,
Mhm.
is it Remobon or whatever the AI is that I can't think of its name, but the big ball AI that basically
Yeah.
kind of running things.
Mhm.
Wasn't a huge fan of that. And like I don't, it's just like the show is it's getting bigger and blah blah blah, which is fine.
Mhm.
But I like the Man in Black, and I like that character, and I was
Mhm.
kind of like worried about what does his role in season 3 mean for season 4, and Ed Helms is getting older, and like how much longer can they do this show, and um it's honestly
Yeah.
it kind of creeped up. We got 6 days and it comes out. It's kind of creeped up on me. So
Yeah.
maybe because Daniel, I don't think Daniel's caught up. So maybe whenever it comes out weekly, you and
Mhm.
I can kind of talk about it here and there and see what your
Sure, yeah.
thoughts are. Check in on you. Did
Yeah.
you find out what his name was, Danny DeVito's
Phil.
character?
Phil.
Phil. Okay.
Phil.
I was
Phil. Phil.
Dill. Phil.
Phil.
Phil. Okay. Bill. Dill. Phil. Okay. Phil. Okay, but it's like Phil and Roy. That feels like that. Like it has the same kind of name, right? Phil,
Sure.
Roy. So it makes sense. No, that's yeah, get Danny DeVito back as Phil. If you don't, you're fucking stupid. So
Yeah.
Tom Hardy shares that screenplay. Tom Hardy shares the screenplay for Venom 3 and says it is completed. It's a story by Tom Hardy and so, and it's written by so and so. Um, which this was the same case for Venom 2, and we all saw how that come out.
Mm,
So I'm not sure how excited I can be for this. I am curious as to what's going to happen and if Spider-Man will be in it or not, or
yeah.
if it's hopefully it's Morbin time and Morbius is in it. I don't know. Also, Sony, if you're listening, bring it back for a third time. We were busy that weekend, the second time. So I would love to see Morbius back in theaters a third time after its
Oh,
Blu-ray
God.
release. Please give it to me. Are you excited for Venom 3, Luke?
I don't know. Um, yeah,
I don't
I
know.
just don't know. I just don't know.
I agree.
I'm
Uh,
hoping that they're taking the time to, like, reflect on, like, how fans reacted with the second one and try to make some things right. Spend a little bit more time in creating a good story.
See, I feel like we're the minority. I feel like the movie it got better reviews from the critics, the second one did. And then on top of that, like I feel like there's this thing has hardcore fans for like people just love Tom Hardy for some reason and they've
Yeah.
accepted this iteration of the character. I'm
Yeah.
not one of them really, which is
I'm
like
not.
it's hard for me to say that and I fully suspect Andy Serkis is going to come back to direct this movie. I think he had a good time directing the second one, and I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going to direct this one
I could see
again.
I could see that too, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I totally see that. I'm not a Doctor Who fan, but this is, I feel like, pertinent information. Neil Patrick Harris joins Doctor Who
Mhm.
universe as a villain. Do you watch Doctor Who at all, Luke?
I've never seen an episode. There's not really much I can share within Doctor Who realm, unfortunately. I hope to maybe start checking out someday. It's just kind of low on my bucket list. I know there's a lot of fans for this.
I feel the exact same way. And that's why we need Joe Williams on today's episode so he could tell us about
Right.
all the Doctor Who stuff. To me, this is one of those things that it feels it's like One Piece. It feels too big for me to tackle. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't, and like, also it's never ending because like originally it's supposed to be like, I think there's only gonna be 13 doctors ever, and they end
Mm,
up like retroactively changing it where there's gonna like an infinite amount of doctors could be happening.
mm,
And I don't like things that never end, and
yeah.
especially because I will end, and I'm looking to see the ending of this thing. So to me,
Yeah.
I am not about that at all, so I'll not be watching. Our last topic for today, unfortunately, another passing in the comic book world. Tim
Mm,
Sale passes away at the age of 66. He was an Eisner Award winner in the comic book universe. Of course, he did Batman: The Long Halloween. He's an artist, and he did Dark Victory, Superman for All Seasons, and Daredevil Yellow.
mm,
And if you don't know his work, just know that him and Jeff Lieb from Batman: The Long Halloween, Dark Victory. They're huge inspirations for Christopher Nolan's trilogy and The Dark Knight. So if you like The Dark Knight, then chances are you owe a little bit um, of your love to Tim Sale because he was a huge part in crafting that atmosphere and that tone that The Dark Knight tried to
mm,
emulate. So we're sorry to hear that. We're trying to get to that point now where all these famous comic book artists unfortunately passing. We've lost a
yeah.
few already this year, which is kind of
Yeah.
wild. Um, but
Yeah.
anyway, if you haven't checked out his stuff, that's four great books there on Amazon. They're all less than $10. The Long
Nice.
Halloween, Dark Victory, Superman for All Seasons, and there's Daredevil Yellow. There's even Spider-Man Blue. Those are all great little bitty comics, and they're not super long and they're not super expensive. Um, our last thing, of course, of the day, Blu-ray releases. We have two movies coming out tomorrow, June 21st. The first one is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Pedro Pascal and, of course, Nicolas Cage. There's a Best Buy steelbook for that. I've seen it. Luke, have you seen that movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was
like it.
fun.
It's a fun movie.
It's a
I
fun
would
Cage movie.
yeah, I would buy that steelbook for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it, even though I
No?
bought Morbius. I'm not gonna buy this one,
Mm,
just because I liked the movie, but it wasn't like just like I have to own it kind of thing. And there's
yeah.
also the Bad Guys, which I think. you told me you saw. I never saw it yet.
I never we never got to go see that one, no.
Okay, okay. Well, I hear good things from it. I know Matt
Okay,
told me he saw it for sure. I thought
cool.
maybe you said you had seen it, but it's apparently
No,
people really
no.
like it. It did pretty well at the box office, surprisingly.
Mhm.
So I may give it a check out and kind of see
Yeah.
what it's all about. Of course, we have four Blu-ray re-releases tomorrow. We have Shaft from '71, Giant from '56, Uncle Sam from 1996, and of course the best year of all time, 1992, the year I was born. Universal Soldier comes out with Jean-Claude Van Damme and
Mm,
Dolph Lundgren. If you haven't seen Universal Soldier, it is a classic '90s, early '90s movie, and it's got one of the best ending fight scenes of all time in a movie. So check that movie out. If you haven't, it's Best Buy Steelbook. I will be swinging by tomorrow and seeing if I can pick that one up if I forgot to
nice.
pre-order it. So anyway, that's our stuff for the week. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite story was. Well, if you're going to check out any of these Blu-ray releases, what's coming up this upcoming in the theaters that you're excited about. I know Thor: Love and Thunder's around the corner, and yeah, Luke, it was a pleasure having you on. How can our listeners find you know the cool things that you do?
Always. Check out youtube.com/Luke Irvin. And then you can also check out the Agents of Mace podcast. It should be available on all major podcast streaming platforms.
That's awesome. And of course, if you haven't, you can always hit that subscribe button, that notification bell on youtube.com/241 Studios, the best place to consume the content. There we have 241 Joe Live every Monday. It's been between 9 and 10 every Monday the last couple of weeks. And of course, we have the podcast 2 for 1 on all podcast services, and it goes on YouTube first. So I believe our Obi-Wan Kenobi episode, or not Obi-Wan Kenobi, our Stranger Things season 4 part 1 spoiler review will be dropping later
Mm.
today on all podcast services, but it's already up on the tube right now if you want to listen to it right now at this moment. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Luke, thank you for being on. I look forward to
Always.
next week. Hopefully, we can get Joel back
Yeah.
on, and we'll also all three of us. Hopefully, I know Joe will. I know you will too. We will all have seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we can also
Mhm.
I get your guys' thoughts on it. And yeah, I'm excited. And also, we'll talk about the boys a little bit too, because
Definitely. Yeah.
we're getting deeper and deeper on that. And I still got to catch
Yeah.
up on episode 5, I believe. So
Same here. I have not watched that one yet. So
yeah,
same boat
we'll
as you.
touch base next week. Yeah.
And I'm not done with part one of Stranger Things season 4 yet, but now that we've kind
Ooh.
of settled in, my
Yeah.
wife and I are starting to watch through that. So I think we're about to start episode 4 next. So
I've never really watched. It made some of my Facebook stuff. I never really watched them, and I started binging them like 2 weeks
yeah, I saw
ago.
that.
And I'm a fan now, so they got me.
Yep.
So
Yep.
July 1st or July 2nd, whatever it is, I will be watching part 2, and we'll also be reviewing that on the channel shortly afterward. So anyway, thank you guys so much, Luke. Thank you again,
Yep.
and I'll catch you next week.